They used to ride together, talking trash in the wind. Destiny, Vegas, melon dogs, swore they'd stick till the end. But the only tie that bound them tight was me on their lips every night. Now they're cracking like a bottle on the barroom floor again. Destiny called me, said you want them, they're yours. Like used up memories in a pawn shop drawer. On and off with people one by one. ADT's next, then here comes dawn. Guess loyalty's a joke and the hater highest on. It's the breakup of the BBC. They're nothing real, just a grudge against me. Now they're falling fast like the lies they told. All the glitter is gone and the silence is cold. Yeah, when sky is your blue, you don't stick too long. Now the BBC's broke and the glitter's all gone. Vegas was loud, now she's just a ghost. Dawn's gone quiet and it's toast. They made me the purpose, their twisted creed. But without my name, they ain't got no feet. Now they're fading out on their own stampede. Destiny said it plain as day. I sell them to you, just take them away. That group grew faster than a cheap perfume. Now their group chat's just an empty room. Vegas down in ADT, running now where everybody else can see. They played the game, thought they'd ring, but now their names just echo in vain. It's the breakup of the BBC. Their bond is built on dragging me. The drama dies and trust is tall, and now they're nothing, just a memory fall. Yeah, when it leaves the beat, the song don't last long. Now the BBC's gone, and I'm moving on. So Destiny's dealing, take her advice. She'll sell out her friends for the lowest price. And if they ask who they used to be, just say another chapter in the BBC.
You like it? That's the breakup of the BBC song. Let's listen to it one more time. Hey, Dawn, I hope you, ADT, and everybody are listening, because if they can do it to one of y'all, they're going to do it to all of y'all.
They used to ride together, talking trash in the wind. Destiny, Vegas, melon dogs, swore they'd stick till the end. But the only tie that bound them tight was me on their lips every night. Now they're cracking like a bottle on the barroom floor again. Destiny called me, said you want them, they're yours. Like used up memories in a pawn shop drawer. On and off with people one by one. ADT's next, then here comes dawn. Guess loyalty's a joke and the hater highest on.
Lauren! Hi, gorgeous.
It's the breakup of the BBC. They're nothing real, just a grudge against me. Now they're falling fast like the lies they told. All the glitter is gone and the silence is gold. Yeah, when sky is your blue, you don't stick too long. Now the BBC's broke and the glitter's all gone. Vegas was loud, now she's just
o'clock. It's the breakup of the BBC. It's been a shit show, girl. I promise it's been hell, but you know we just keep on rocking. And then the newest one Haley dropped for me. Y'all gotta hear this.
So cute, type you fake, but I'm the earthquake, and you just the shake. Say my name more than your own damn prayers. Let's get into it.
Tina Tuna, crusty queen of Confederate lies, spitting on live while your dentures slide. Racist in a robe, trying to play Miss Sweet, but that southern drawl can't hide those tweets. Obsessed with me like I'm your lost youth, built like a bag of expired dog food. You ain't slick, just old, bitter, impressed. Got a shrine to me sitting next to your meth. You online 24/7 with a broke phone stand, talking about me with your Bible in hand. Pick a lane, pick a God, pick a life, pick a clue, cause the Lord ain't got Wi-Fi and he ain't watching
I'm hood in the basement, begging for fame. Can't own her own legs, but trying to run game. Wheelchair whisperer in denial mode, pretending you upright while your whole life's cold. That voice sounds like a crow caught in a blender. Every time you speak, it's a noise offender. Stalk me for years like a ghost in my feed. Mad cause you rot while I bloom like a seed. You envy my breath while you drown in regret. Still gasping for relevance, ain't found it yet. You throw the same shade, same plot, same plea, but I'm Teflon built, I'm your worst enemy. Aaron, lil man, still flexing in the closet. More complaints on file than checks in your deposit. Marine life cut short, dishonor, disgrace. Now you stuck at home wearing pride on your face.
Insufficient power.
Low ring, caught in your lies like your marriage fling. Melissa false rank, playing dress up with boots. Never served a day, but acting like troops. Y'all stalk me at a campsite, that's insane. Taking photos like fans, but swear I'm the lame. If I'm nobody, why you track my moves? You lost your jobs, but still won't lose. It's desperation, cross starvation. Y'all the punchline of your own damnation.
Same tricks, same tactics, same tired assault. I dodge it all clean.
Insufficient power. Power off.
Hold on. It's my song, so I guess I could put it on the radio. I don't have to use my speaker. I just love this speaker.
Hey, babe.
Yes, baby. That means charge, please.
There was shooting at our old loafing jug.
What? Is that what we were hearing? Where did, oh.
Video.
This is the weather.
The streets were hot last night, homie. There was shit popping the fuck off last night. Hard.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. At our old fucking loafing jug, babe.
Downtown where we used to squat when we were homeless, bro. God damn. Bar? Do you think it was the bar?
No, it was right there at the...
No, that's what I'm saying. Do you think the bar caused it? Or road rage? Because it looks like it's in the middle of the motherfucking
Drug deal.
street.
Drug deal. Guarantee you it was a drug deal. Drug deal went bad.
That's fucking crazy. That's insane. Morning, morning, morning. Yeah, I had to go and take care of be a responsible adult. We're gonna start this one over. This is the new one. Haley drafted it up for us. This shit's bad as fuck.
Tina Tuna, crusty queen of Confederate lies. Spitting on live while your dentures slide. Racist in a robe trying to play Miss Sweet. But that southern drawl can't hide those tweets. Obsessed with me like I'm your lost youth. Built like a bag of expired dog food. You ain't slick, just old, bitter, and pressed. Got a shrine to me sitting next to your mess. You online 24/7 with a broke phone stand. Talking about me with your Bible in hand. Pick a lane, pick a God, pick a life, pick a clue. Cause the Lord ain't got Wi-Fi and he ain't watching you.
Blood in the basement, begging for fame. Can't
Yeah,
own our own legs, but trying to run game. Wheelchair whisperer in denial mode, pretending you upright while your whole life's cold. That voice sounds like a crow caught in a blender. Every time you speak, it's a noise offender. Stalk me for years like a ghost in my feed. Mad cause you rot while I bloom like a seed. You envy my breath while you drown in regret. Still gasping for relevance, ain't found it yet. You throw the same shade, same plot, same plea, but I'm Teflon built, I'm your worst enemy. Aaron, little man, still flexing in the closet. More complaints on file than checks in your deposit. Marine life cut short,
Time then straight. Now you stuck at home, wanting pride on your face.
Man of the house with a hollow ring.
Halloween,
Caught in
and
your
your
lies
eyes
like a
like
marriage fling.
flame.
Melissa false rank, playing dress up with boots. Never served a day, but acting like truth. Y'all saw me at a campsite, that's insane. Taking photos
It's
like
like I'm not
I'm the lame. If I'm nobody,
Why you tracking my moves?
you lost your job, but still won't lose. It's desperation, cross starvation. Y'all the punchline of your own damnation.
Same tricks, same tactics, same tired assault. I dodge it all clean. That ain't luck, that's vault. Y'all doing the same thing. Expecting a win, that's insanity, baby.
Let that sink in.
5 years deep, still can't break me. But you keep trying like a glitch in HD. On the boss level, you the tutorial phase. I burn brighter while y'all fade in the haze.
Stand by my name like it pays your rent, but I'm the landlord and your time is spent. I ain't mad, I'm bored watching y'all obsessed. Rotating through failure in the same old dress. So keep talking, keep lying, keep throwing that shade. I'm still the blueprint, y'all just a fake.
My name like it pays your rent, but I'm the landlord and your time is spent.
I ain't mad, I'm bored watching y'all obsessed. Rotating through failure in the same old dress. So keep talking, keep lying, keep throwing that shade. I'm still the blueprint. Y'all just fake.
Yeah, I had Haley add the drum line at the end. That was great.
KJ's.
Oh, I missed it.
Top, I know, but I don't. Like I said, I don't even go into her lives or anything. I just watch the replays on Instagram, on
News.
YouTube when they're posted.
YouTube and also like on my feed. Megan does a really good job. Megan, Lord
Yes.
Pasquan,
Yep.
BC
Rose.
Fever, with all of them.
Mhm.
I'm caught up by watching all of their
Go
lives.
to like an
Correct.
agency.
All the good stuff I'm caught up on. There's no need to try to make a fake account and go in her stream.
Nope.
Hold on, guys.
Yeah, they do
Fuck.
a really good
Fuck
job.
you,
I
Don.
mean, even Megan.
Fuck you, Don. I got more important things to worry about than your drama. Are you kidding me right now?
As of last night at 5:20 last night, we are in World War III.
U.S. braces for possible Iran retaliation.
And Rich, I just want to touch on that point
concerns about potential sleeper cells or lone wolf attacks, and the idea that the homeland here, U.S. Soil, could be a
Fuck
target.
Dawn and her drama.
But as
This
you
is
said,
actual
those
serious
present
shit.
Even more of a challenge for law enforcement because they could be hard to track.
That's correct. The lone wolf is alone. So, you're not having that chatter that you might see. You're not having all the intelligence that the FBI, NYPD, other law enforcement agencies around the country are able to use to target and assess. So what we have
Well,
to deal
Dawn's
with on
over
this
there
is
obsessed
before they
with me. We're
see
literally
something,
breaking
say
into
something.
World War III.
If somebody sees, a person acting oddly, starts thinking that person may be somebody who could commit an act of terrorism, go to the police, let them know what's happening.
And we already know that in many major cities, like here in New York and Washington, D.C. as well, that law enforcement, police will be sort of posturing, taking those extra preventative measures. What kind of steps could we see law enforcement take to try to prevent those different modes of possible retaliation?
Well, right now you're seeing law enforcement, definitely in the New York area, and I believe across the country, starting to protect Israeli consulates, Israeli embassies, but also other locations that may be associated with either Israeli or Jewish persons. So you're going to see synagogues and other places of worship. You're going to see other locations that may be those targets that are connected to Israel. But I think you're also going to see a higher presence at tourist sites, Times Square, the Empire State Building here in New York, but also around the country, you will see a heightened presence of police officers.
All right, former FBI agent Richard Frankel, we appreciate you being with us this morning. And for more on all of this now,
way to go, Republicans.
ABC's senior political correspondent Rachel Scott, who is following the very latest from the White House.
Another
Rachel,
9/11 incoming. Congratulations.
We have some new reporting on President
Why
Trump.
every time Trump elected we lose 1 million people? The fuck?
We do. Yes, Janae, this is new reporting that we have coming in just here to ABC News as we take a look back just to see what exactly led up to this point where the president gave this green light for the U.S. to strike in Iran. And so sources are telling me, and including multiple U.S. officials, that there was this last-ditch effort to try to get Iranian officials and U.S. officials in one room, and that this was a push that was trying to be coordinated and efforted with Turkish President Erdogan. That
now I know why I'm having panic attacks all fucking day.
While the president was at that G7 summit in Canada, he suggested that there should be a meeting between Iranian and U.S. officials, and then from there the president agreed. They tried to assemble it. But they had one big issue here, and that was the fact that they could not reach Iran's supreme leader. He had gone into hiding.
We're going up to the mountains. We're fucking gone.
That meeting never happened.
And that goes for all y'all. Y'all better be ready to rally and meet up, because once that first strike hits the United States, it's fucking over.
It's a done deal. We're in.
It's over.
And so much has happened in those last few days.
Absolutely. Anybody who voted that Republican card, strap your boots up and go fight, bitch. Dead. You Gravy C, don't be drafting our youngsters. Don't be drafting our fucking youngsters, bitch. Draft your Republican voters first.
It's a really good question, Janae, because we have
stupid ass motherfuckers.
and also a shift in messaging from the president. As you mentioned, I did travel with the president on Air Force One to the G7 summit in Canada. Earlier that morning, I spoke to him on the phone in a brief interview, and I asked him about Israel's strike and whether or not the U.S. could get involved. He left the door open. He said it's possible for the U.S.
Right? I got bone spurs, bitch.
He said that the administration
Everybody better just suddenly get some bone spurs.
to the idea that Russia, President Putin, could serve as a mediator in these talks. We have seen the tone.
Everybody better get bone spurs real fast.
He traveled to the G7 summit. He abruptly left the summit, coming back here to the White House, meeting with his national security team in the Situation Room. And then over the course of the last several days, we heard from sources that the president was really warming up to this idea that the U.S. might in fact strike. The president said that 2 weeks.
I'm praying for you, Worm.
2 weeks now.
I'm praying for you now. That's scary as fuck right now.
And that ultimately, apparently did not happen because 2 days into that 2-week time frame, the president moving forward with these strikes. So it has been a notable shift in tone from the president, who initially was keeping this sort of at an arm's
Right, Callie. She said, I ain't vote for any motherfucker. I ain't fighting for any either, op. And Jay said they can lock me the fuck up. I ain't saying shit but a bitch at Chili's.
You know how many times I've heard that on TikTok? So many motherfucking actual lefty motherfucking white.
I didn't vote for your motherfucking ass. I ain't fighting for your ass either, bitch.
Yeah, they sat there.
I'm not fighting another 20 fucking year war in the goddamn Middle East. What the fuck? Did we not learn from the last 20 fucking years? This is some bullshit.
Misled the country, saying that the U.S. is now at risk of possibly an intense war on its hand, and that the Trump administration is going to have to explain this.
How are you going to get us into
in the lead up to this, Republicans on Capitol Hill
with no congressional approval?
That you have Republicans on both sides, ones that were in favor of the president moving forward with these strikes, ones that
I love that, Rue.
trying to get him on their side of this. We are seeing Republican leaders rally behind the president. But one notable thing that we report this morning, as we were on the air with you, Janae, this morning for Good Morning America, is this idea that the Democratic leaders were given a notification, but not much detail. You compare that to the Republican leader, the Speaker of the House, the Majority Leader. They
this is fucking insane.
Ahead of these strikes in Iran. Janae, we know there was so much secrecy surrounding this mission, and as you were reporting, even to the extent of some congressional...
You don't even get to...
Thank you so much.
I love that. And you know what? There's a lot of them. And I'm going to be honest with you, Worm. You may be ready to tell them there may be a time when separating from their country is the only option they have.
Because that is continuing even after these U.S. airstrikes.
I love that. Bright red. I love that.
Airstrike, Iran firing more than 20 at Israel this morning.
Jay said his base card ain't given right now.
Most of those missiles were intercepted, but several did manage to get through Israel's air defense systems and hit several locations in and around the country, both in the central part of Israel and also in northern Israel. No fatalities were reported, but there were more than 20 people said to have been injured in the strike this morning, and also some significant damage to a residential building on the outskirts of Tel Aviv. No sirens throughout the day today, which has been quite rare, but Israel carrying out several rounds of airstrikes across Iran. Janae, they have been focusing primarily today
it's over.
On Iran's missile launchers, which we had heard earlier in the week that they had managed to knock out 50% of those launchers during some of their strikes.
And Marcus, what more can you tell us about Israel?
They need to the Article 25 his ass before he sends us into a full-on war. Nah, there's a chance to pull out of this.
There's a 14-day
There's a 14-day grace period. Either we pull the fuck back or it's over.
What's their response?
Well, the response simply has been one.
We get half of our oil from Saudi Arabia. I guarantee you are, baby.
Prime Minister Netanyahu down to former officials like Yoav Gallant, who's the former defense minister, who
we're gonna stand up for him.
On X said that the world
Bet.
is a safer place now because of this strike. But I can tell you that in speaking with some of the civilians here, just everyday people who are not government officials, there is some concern. I spoke to a resident who lives in the Ramat Gan neighborhood, which is Ramat Gan City.
You think that this is all a setup to put Vance in office?
We were at an apartment building that was destroyed, and when we were talking to him about that day, he looked.
Cheyenne Mountain's going to be the first one to go.
That, the army is supposed to
damn, Tiffany.
Secure, but after those rockets were falling here in Tel Aviv,
well,
we feel less secure.
just know that I know you guys raised them right, so when the choice comes to separate or fight against their own people, I'm sure they won't. Just know that I'm pretty sure your boys will be on the right side of history.
Still coming up here on ABC News Live Weekend, Republicans praising President Trump's move to strike Iran, while some Democrats accuse him of misleading the country. I'll speak with Arizona Congressman Greg Stanton for more.
Cheyenne Mountain's going to be one of the first targets. It's a hidden nuclear facility, bro. They're going to come for it.
Where all of our fucking satellites information goes from, and that's where a lot of our
drone operators are out of.
operators and all that are.
Yup. Colorado's got a big ass target on its back.
Check this out. This will trip you guys all out.
Channel. National Game Show Day is so big.
I don't think that they will turn on their own country, though, Worm. I think you raise them to know right from wrong. And I think that the real, true members of our military will take and hold that oath. We're watching it right now, Meg. Oh, that's what we're talking about.
National Game Show Month on the Price is Right channel.
I don't think anybody that you raised, Worm, would turn their guns on their own people. I just don't.
This restaurant needs to officially cease operations.
Because keeping it open would be like
Beating a dead horse so you throw it off a cliff.
we get it. We get it.
Showtime! Try to keep up, yeah? Walk like a G. There you go, Neil.
I don't know, Worm. I think that your boys are smart enough to know if they're on the right side of history. I'm pretty sure you raised them to know the right side of history. They'd be the motherfuckers inside the Corps and inside the Navy sabotaging the fucking plans against the people. They'd be the motherfucking spies in the Empire and shit. I can see that shit.
Turn and develop inside the court. Listen to breaking news on the Diddy trial wherever you listen to podcasts.
What up, Bells? What up, Oakland? I bet you they'd still be fighting for right from the inside, Worm. Just because of how you are as a mama.
Continue to follow the fallout
I bet.
of those U.S. airstrikes on 3 nuclear facilities in Iran and what could happen next. For more now.
How's everybody's day going?
We're joined by Democratic Congressman Greg Stanton from Arizona. Thank you so much, Congressman, for being with us. We've heard that lawmakers...
That's the way it goes sometimes.
...about these airstrikes. When did you first learn what happened? And tell us what your initial reaction was.
Hold on.
I know that the administration informed the top leadership of the House and the Senate, not rank-and-file members like myself, in advance of these strikes. So members of Congress, the vast majority of us, found out about the strikes from
Ocean, I'm sorry, honey.
In America.
And so what was your reaction to those reports?
Well, obviously, in the days leading up to this, it's not a great surprise that the president made this decision. And first, the first point we need to make is, I think there's bipartisan agreement, Republicans and Democrats. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. That's been the policies of Democratic and Republican administrations for decades. No one can disagree with that. And obviously, we're so thankful for those U.S. service women and men who pulled off this amazing achievement of bombing these nuclear sites in Iran, and thank goodness there's no reports of any injuries or deaths of American service members. So we're thankful for that. But we have a lot of questions because the president, who was in the middle of negotiations with Iran,
this is fucking crazy,
changed course and decided to bomb these sites without informing the American people, certainly without informing Congress as to why, certainly not seeking congressional support and approval in advance of making decisions. We have a lot of questions as to what exactly the evidence was, why they needed to...
I'm telling y'all, the first attack on U.S. soil, y'all better get out here. We're going to take over a mountain.
There were 40,000 American troops.
Build us a big-ass concrete wall like in fucking Walking Dead and live on our compound and let the whole ass world go some dumb shit.
We do not want another larger war in this region as we saw with Iraq and
ex-BBC members that just now left are not welcome.
To the American people.
And many of those questions, as you said, many Americans have as well. What kind of discussions were happening in the House leading up to these strikes? Because as you said, there were days leading up to the idea that something
and
could
the doom
be coming,
days,
could be happening.
The doom days fucking
well, the
plane
short run,
is
there was
already in
flight.
flight. It's been in flight for the last 48 hours.
Of Israel, our ally. As you know, Israel was receiving incoming missiles from Iran. Israel had made the decision that they were going to attack some of these sites and go after the military top command of Iran, and the United States and Israel are allies, and the United States needs to defend Israel against these ongoing attacks. Obviously, the United States had ongoing discussions and negotiations with Iran about whether or not we could do a deal with Iran.
Figure out where that's at and find me a mountain range in it.
That's a major decision to change course in the middle of that.
No, it's not a fucking...
What went into that?
So there's a doomsday
plane.
plane.
The president had presented his case to the American people to build up American support for such a dramatic escalation, and certainly come to Congress and sought our support in advance. I think we have a much stronger bipartisan support for what occurred. Instead, right now, we have a lot of questions.
A lot of questions, and as you point out, these airstrikes were carried out without congressional approval. So what sort of role will the House play now?
Center circle that's completely right.
Well, it depends on what happens next. Certainly, regardless, no matter what happens, the president owes it to the American people to explain exactly why we took this dramatic escalation. But now the great threat is Iran is going to attack U.S. interests in this region. What are we going to do to keep our American service members who are serving in this region as safe as possible?
Escape plans, baby.
Coming up to the United States may not just
honestly, I'm having a... This is not a joke. This is like, do you not understand that this could put us into World War III?
As well. And if they do those types of attacks, are we now entering into a much larger war with Iran, a much longer war with Iran? The president owes the American people explanations about how we are preparing for that, how we are planning for that. Because again, the American people really do not want any boots on the ground in this region. We have learned the hard way over the years. When President Bush said mission accomplished so quickly after the beginning of the Iraq War, that turned out to be one of the biggest mistakes in foreign policy history. We don't want that to occur again. And that's why the president needs to present this evidence and plan to the American people and to the American Congress.
And Congressman Rowe has laid out so many of the questions that still remain.
Is what the doomsday plane is.
The ongoing concerns in the aftermath of this airstrike. What is your top concern?
Well, immediately, it's the safety of the service women and men serving in the Middle East. We have 40,000 service members in this region. We've moved equipment and personnel to this region after Israel began a bombing campaign in Iran to provide a stronger defense to Israel for the counterattack from Iran. Those people are at risk.
They can be refueled mid-flight.
Provide them as much safety and have a plan for their safety.
12 hours in the air each time.
Service members hurt or killed as a result of this. And then we owe it to the American people to explain what will be our reaction to that. Are we entering the significant...
It's a full mobile airborne command center.
...of a larger war with Iran. That's why we have these questions. But my immediate concern is the safety and security for U.S. service members in that region.
Callie, to answer your question, I'm going to be honest with you. I believe that some of the Bible was written by people like Nostradamus, who had an eye for things to come. So I do believe that we are seeing what the Bible talked about in an extent. But I also don't believe it's going to be exactly like the Bible said, and Jesus is going to come down here and rapture all his good people, and it's going to da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
No, it's not. The clouds
it's
are
the
not gonna
reset.
Open up, and he's not going to come down from the clouds and be like, oh yeah, I'm taking my chosen people up. No, it's not a rapture and all that.
I do believe that people were given a second sight to see things as they come and before they're here. I have to go get some. I gotta go to the store. That's what I'm gonna do here in a second.
You're good.
Yep, and then it's been washed 100,000 times by men. Exactly. So there is some truth to what's going on, being in a biblical sense, if you want to get real.
Yep.
But I think that it's the reset of our planet.
Every 60 to 80 years, our planet has reset. We've gone back in history.
If you go back in history, there is a certain amount of time in which we do a reset. We lose millions of people worldwide, blah, blah, blah. COVID was the last minor reset. World War II. You have to stop and think, we are the ones that are causing this. Nobody but us. Well, before we get obliterated, you're gonna go order some foam? Huh? But I'm telling y'all, any one of y'all in this room that is actually here and...
blocks called seculum, but we'll just call them history blocks. Within these 80-year history blocks, we have 4 turnings of around 20 years each. We usually call them... History repeats itself in 80-year blocks called seculum, but we'll just call them history blocks. Within these 80-year history blocks, we have 4 turnings of around 20 years each. We usually call them generations. This book calls them turnings. Turnings are sort of like seasons, like spring, summer, fall, winter. Throughout our history, we've had these 80-year blocks, and the 80-year blocks have been remarkably similar to each other. We're in one now. The first turning, the first season, is a high, an upbeat era. The second turning is an awakening, passionate era. The third turning is an unraveling, downcast era. And the fourth turning, well, sorry, but fourth turnings suck. The fourth turning is a crisis, an era of upheaval. We're in a fourth turning right now. History repeats itself in 80-year blocks called seculum.
Yup.
Does that kind of explain it a little bit better for y'all?
They're shadow banning shit like that. My videos that I actually talk about shit don't get nearly the views that I do with drama.
She said you might get that one soon.
Are they still talking? The fuck?
I think everyone's got bad weather coming.
Cause I gotta deliver it in Las Vegas.
They're dumb. Yeah, they have bad weather coming. But that's the thing. Like, they're over there bitching and complaining about their mundane lives on TikTok and about Beth, when we're literally in a situation
impacting northern and central parts of the country. We have team coverage, and we begin with ABC News' chief foreign correspondent Ian Pannell in Tel Aviv.
In the wake of U.S. strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities, Iran launching a barrage of missiles at Israel. A military official telling ABC 20 to 30 were fired. At least 19 people injured in the attacks, missiles landing in 4 areas in the country. In the port city of Haifa, rescuers searching for survivors in this damaged building. And we were in Tel Aviv as the alert sounded.
The air raid siren has just started to sound. We're getting reports that Iran has fired ballistic missiles.
At least
I actually do believe that a lot of natural disasters are created as well.
First responders
and wildfires are set with intent.
Buildings reduced to rubble. We went there too.
This was Iran's response to American bombing of 3 nuclear sites inside the country. Within a few hours, the sirens rang, the bombs landed, and you can see the chaos here on the ground as Israel starts to count the numbers injured and the numbers killed.
Iran claiming it targeted the main airport and a biological research center. President Trump announced the U.S. military struck 3 nuclear sites: Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan.
So Oakland,
the attack very successful.
Let me tell you something about that. So unfortunately, we repealed the Truth Act of 1980. You're okay. Come here. I know it woke you up and scared you, didn't it? It's windy outside, boo-boo. I know. Come here. In 1987, they repealed the Truth Act, which allowed news stations to slant things to their own viewership. So I would suggest watching international news if you get a chance. The British Broadcasting Company, Rutgers is a good one. Oh, yes, we already went through that. Dawn's still bitching about it. We are more worried about World War III right now in this house.
Has created a pivot of history that can help lead the Middle East and beyond to a future of prosperity and peace.
And watch a couple of different ones and find your own opinion in the middle, Oakland.
More attacks on Iran overnight and this morning.
The British Broadcasting Company is online, yes.
To defend its security interests and people.
Iran's foreign minister responding to the US attacks, calling them outrageous and warning Iran will respond as necessary.
Our thanks to Ian Panel there in Tel Aviv. And now ABC News senior Pentagon reporter Louis Martinez joins us to talk about this more. Louis, thank you for being with us. So far from officials last night and this morning, we've heard them say that Iran's nuclear program has been obliterated and that those 3 nuclear sites appear to have sustained severe damage. But the final assessment, it'll really take some time to be able to confirm any of that, right? Can you explain that to us?
No, that's correct, Janae. The final bomb damage assessment is going to take quite some time. There's always the initial bomb damage.
Yeah, not to be confused.
We know that there were ISR elements around the time of the bombing, so they had eyes on the situation, knowing where the bomb struck and whether they had been successfully detonated. But it takes some time using satellite imagery to analyze how much of the facility may have been destroyed, and whether, as Secretary Hegseth did say today, whether Iran's nuclear program has been obliterated. But I think we should, for now, use General Kane, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, but he used the terminology that the facility at Fort Al and Natanz had been severely damaged.
And Louis, I mean, talking about the scope of this operation, as it's called, Midnight Hammer, I mean, we're talking about 125 aircraft that participated in this, multiple of those B-12, the MOCs, those bunker busters. We also learned late last night that the U.S. and Israel had actually practiced these airstrikes in a military exercise a year ago. What do we know about that preparation?
That's right, Janine. That's some reporting that ABC News has that over the last year or so that both Israel and the United States have practiced some elements of a potential bombing run against Iran. Not necessarily this one specifically, because as we know, the B-2s have to fly one way from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri and then back. So it's unclear if they participated in this precise scenario that developed overnight. But what we do know is that, yes, there were some elements of training that involved the United States, involving Israel in particular, which has had its sights on carrying out some kind of an operation targeting these nuclear facilities. But in the end, now we know that it was the United States.
I got a question for you guys. Do y'all remember when Kamala said on her trail that if Trump was elected, we'd be at war in 6 months? Seems like she wasn't so crazy.
So, you know the conspiracy theory I heard about this? So, AI generated an outcome that if Kamala got elected, there would have been more of a fucking fallout than there is now. So that is the reason why Donald Trump got elected. But I hardly ever doubt that.
Right, but she smiles too much. Shame on her. She had too much fun. She danced in the streets. What a dumb bitch, right? God, I'm so... When are y'all gonna wise up and listen to the women of color in this country? This country doesn't even see how deep-seated its own fucking racism is, that you would rather an orange motherfucker who led us to war in less than 6 months because you hate women of color so fucking much. You hate women of color so much in this fucking country that that's what you chose over a strong black queen. I'm physically sick over this. Harrison Walls spoke nothing but facts, but you ignorant sheeps were too busy fucking sucking Trump's orange testicles to give a fuck. And now, it's no longer... Oh, I know. But it's still, look at how many people are still supporting his orange little fucking racist ass.
Even our own military fucking area is fucking supporting this fucking dumbass.
They do hate you, Kryptonite, and it's bullshit. And it pisses me off because it's no longer an episode of they fucked around and found out. It's y'all fucked around, now we all have to find out. You physically make me ill. And now you're going to draft our sons and daughters instead of the idiots that put that mark on a ballot. And that's bullshit in itself. And you know what? It's time to replay it. Because this sums it up better than it's truer now than it's ever been.
You know what I mean? Can you say why America is the greatest country in the world?
Diversity and opportunity.
Lewis?
Freedom and freedom.
So let's keep it that way. Well, the New York Jets. No, I'm going to hold you to an answer on that.
I don't blame you, Kryptonite.
The greatest country in the world. Well, Lewis and Sharon said it. Diversity and opportunity and freedom and freedom.
I know, Kryptonite.
I'm not letting you go back to the airport without answering the question. Well, our Constitution is a masterpiece. James Madison was a genius. Declaration of Independence is the right thing to single great piece of American. You don't look satisfied. One's a set of laws and the other's a declaration of war. I want a human moment from you. What about the people? Why is it the greatest country in the world? That's my answer. You're saying yes. Let's talk about Sharon, the NEA is a loser. Yeah, it accounts for a penny out of her paycheck, but he gets to hit you with it anytime he wants. It doesn't cost money, it costs votes. It costs their time. You know why people don't like liberals? Because they lose.
I bet you are.
They're so fucking smart, how come they lose so goddamn
Damn
often?
often.
And with a straight face.
Face,
Look
you're
at
gonna sit,
it. Tell students that
America's so star-spangled, I can't do it.
Canada has freedom. Japan
Yep, Michaela, you right about that.
UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain, Australia, Belgium has freedom. So 207.
I'm gonna let my voice ring and give yours a break, Miss Kryptonite. You know we love you and you know I'm gonna fucking stand right.
Wander into a voting booth one day. There's some things you should know. There's
absolutely
absolutely no evidence to support the statement that we're the greatest country in the world. We're 7th in literacy, 27th in math, 22nd in science, 49th in life expectancy, 178th in infant mortality, 3rd in median household income, number 4 in labor force, and number 4 in exports. We lead the world in only 3 categories: number of incarcerated citizens per capita, number of adults who believe in angels are real,
and defense spending, where we spend more than 26 countries combined, 25 of them are ours.
Now, none of this is the fault of a 20-year-old college student.
It is from the newsroom.
Generation period ever period. So when you ask what makes us the greatest country in the world, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yosemite?
This next part's bad for me.
Sure used to be. We stood up
Except for a right. But moral reasons. There's laws. We start laws for moral reasons. We want poverty, not the poor.
We sacrificed.
Because
we cared about our neighbors. We put our money where our mouths were. We never beat our chest. We built great things, made godly technological advances, explored the universe, cured diseases, cultivated the world's greatest artists and the world's greatest economy.
We showed stars.
Acted
like men. We aspired to intelligence. Belittle it. Make us feel inferior. Identify ourselves like we voted for in the last election. It's so goddamn easy. These things because we were informed. Great men, well revered.
First step to
solve any problem, recognizing there is one. Okay, it's not the greatest country in the world anymore.
Enough?
Being ugly is definitely genetic. That's right. I know that shit's right. Like, that's the thing. I think we should all develop bone spurs. Sorry, can't do nothing. Bone spurs. Oh, you want me to go to work? Bone spurs.
You know how many times?
You want me to do this? Bone spurs.
You know how many times that I've seen fucking the young men on fucking TikTok stating, "Lock me up, homie. You ain't sending me for this role. Fuck you. Lock me up."
That's a lot of young men feel that way.
Lock me up, they say. They would rather get locked up than to fucking fight this dumbass war.
You know, honestly, Kryptonite, that makes me think, like, I have thought the same thing. Maybe they are grown in test tubes. All of his children look straight like science experiments. No.
Yeah. Oh,
Trump.
So, Barron, so I don't know if you guys are big conspiracy theories, but there is a book called Barron Trump. It's an old-time fucking book, but it's about a young boy becoming a king. And Barron Biden...
Barron Trump.
Barron Trump or whatever, yeah. Barron Trump is fucking part of that whole book.
Elon's kids look like they were grown off planet. I'm just being real. With them oversized gums.
But I'm down for Elon Musk's fucking trans daughter coming out and fucking smashing the shit out on him.
I hope she does.
She already has.
What up, Summer?
She's been talking a whole bunch of shit about her fucking dad.
Alright, you guys, I'm gonna be honest, I gotta get my day started and get my shit together. Love y'all. Yeah, his youngest did say some shit to Trump. I'm gonna get some shit done and get my day started. I will see y'all later on this afternoon. I hope y'all have an awesome Sunday. Hey, BBC, I'm here for your breakup, baby. And Dakota, you want to drop them skeletons? Get a hold of Karen.